the ultimate purpose of life. The sages of Savannah were not only the most youthful people I have ever met, observed Julian. They were also the kindest. Yogi Raman told me that when he was a child, as he waited for sleep, his father would ask him what good deeds he had performed through the course of that day. Believe it or not, if he said that he hadn't done any, his father would request that he get up and perform some act of kindness and selfless service before he was permitted to go to sleep. Julian went on. One of the most essential of all the virtues for enlightened living that I can share with you, John, is this one. When all is said and done, no matter what you have achieved, the quality of your life will come down to the quality of your contribution. Does this have something to do with the fresh yellow roses in Yogi Raman's fable? Of course it does. The flowers will remind you of the ancient Chinese proverb, "A little bit of fragrance always clings to the hand that gives you roses." The meaning is clear. When you work to improve the lives of others, you indirectly elevate your own life in the process. When you take care to practice random acts of kindness daily, your own life becomes far richer and more meaningful. To cultivate the sacredness and sanctity of every day, serve others in some way. Are you suggesting that I get involved in some volunteer work? That's an excellent starting point, but what I'm speaking of is much more philosophical than that. I'm suggesting that you adopt a new paradigm of your role on this planet. You're losing me again. Shed some light on the term paradigm. I'm not really familiar with it. A paradigm is simply a way of looking at a circumstance or at life in general. Some people see the glass of life as half empty. The optimists see it as half full. They interpret the same circumstance differently because they have adopted a different paradigm. A paradigm is basically the lens through which you see the events of your life, both external and internal. To dramatically improve the quality of your life, you must cultivate a new perspective of why you are here on Earth. You must realize that there can only be one real reason for your being here. And that would be to give yourself to others and to contribute in a meaningful way, Julian replied. Our world is in the midst of great change. People are trading in money for meaning. Lawyers who used to judge people by the size of their pocketbooks are now judging people by the size of their commitment to others, by the size of their hearts. Teachers are leaving the wombs of secure jobs to nurture the intellectual growth of needy kids living in the combat zones we call inner cities. People have heard the clear call for change. People are realizing that they are here for a purpose and that they have been given special gifts that will aid them to realize it. What kind of special gifts? Exactly the ones I've been telling you about all evening. An abundance of mental ability, boundless energy, unlimited creativity, and a storehouse of discipline and a wellspring of peacefulness. It is simply a matter of unlocking these treasures and applying them for common good, noted Julian. So how can one go about doing good? I'm simply saying that you should make it a priority to change your worldview so that you stop seeing yourself purely as an individual and start seeing yourself as part of the collective. Your life moves to a more magical dimension when you start striving to make the world a better place. I knew Julian had a point. One of the things that was starting to bother me about practicing law was that I didn't really feel I was making the sort of contribution I knew I was capable of making. I realized that I had ensconced myself in a middle-class cocoon, one that sheltered me from society at large and one I had grown accustomed to. Compassion and daily acts of kindness will make life far richer, Julian said. Take the time to meditate every morning on the good you will do for others during your day. The sincere words of praise to those who least expect it, the gestures of warmth offered to friends in need, the small tokens of affection to members of your family, all add up to a much more wonderful way to live. And speaking of friendships, make sure you keep them in constant repair. A person with 3 solid friends is very wealthy indeed. I nodded. Friends add humor, fascination, and beauty to life. Good friends are there to help you when life throws one of its little curves at you and things look worse than they seem. When I was a busy litigator, I had no time for friends. Now I am alone, except for you, John. When I have just put down a wonderful book that has moved me deeply, I have no one to share my thoughts with. I have no one to open my soul to when the sunshine of a glorious autumn day warms my heart and fills me with joy. Julian quickly caught himself. However, regret is not an activity for which I have any time. I have learned from my teachers in Savannah that every dawn is a new day to the one who is enlightened. Julian's eyes glittered in the hope of things yet to come. It appeared to me that Julian Mantle had indeed been elevated from a human being passing through life without a care for anyone to a spiritual being passing through life only caring about others. Perhaps this was the path that I too was about to walk.